Let's see how many people are out here. I'm going to view the stream, turn the volume down. There we go. So live chat. Chat filter, all messages. That way I can see it. And hopefully y'all can hear me. Hey Shannon, how are you doing? I'm going to a doctor's appointment. So I'm live streaming. Waited till I got here. Our oldest called me when I left the house, so I had to talk to him for a while, and I always enjoy hearing from him. He needs to come down more often, but he doesn't live around here. He lives up in East Texas, up closer to Highway 20. We live down here by the coast, so it's a big state. I don't know what I'm going to talk about now, though. That sounds weird. I haven't really... I know I should have cleaned my visor, too. I have ADD, if anyone hasn't figured that out. I think I have, like, ADD and OCD, sort of a lethal combination of the two. Is my wallet in there? Yes, it is. That's what I was checking. And I got to make sure my bag's closed. Yeah, it's kind of like checking a switch 3 times to make sure that it's off. So you turn it on, you turn it off, then you turn it on, then you turn it off, then you turn it on, then you turn it off, then you turn it on, then you turn it off, and then you just break the damn switch. It's, you know, because it doesn't sound right. But it's like the click didn't sound right, man. So I'll just break the fucking thing. But yeah, it's somewhere between OCD and ADD, and it's like, it's basically high definition, hey look a squirrel disease, if that makes any sense. You know? It's hey look a squirrel disease, but it's in HD. And these people will run you over. So, see, I don't know how good the signal's going to be. I haven't done this in a while. Showed a bunch of other people how to do it, and it's awesome watching it when they do it. And, well, until technology gets a little bit better, it's basically what we have, you know. Signal is what it is. I can't change that. There's someone else who did it a long time ago, way before me, and there we go. They were breaking up way worse than anything mine ever does, so I'm not really complaining. Technology's increased where I can at least do it like this. And, well, here we go. We're about to go through the bustling metropolis of Crosby, Texas. We're on the north side of Highway 90. You have Crosby. On the south side, you have Barrett Station. And then it goes down to Highlands and all that shit. And then you're in Baytown. If you take this road right here, straight, just keep going south, you're gonna hit a ferry. Now, if you take this road and you hang a right up here on 90 like we're fixing to, you're gonna hit a ferry too, but it's a completely different kind. You know, I don't have a problem with either one of them. But that ferry will take you across the ship channel and will take you to the San Jacinto Monument. So directly south. And yes, the earth is round, it is not flat. I've been high enough up in the air to see the curvature of the earth, and I used to shoot competitively, and yeah, you do have to account for that. The earth is freaking round, and I can't see that far at the moment. So it's beyond that curve, but I'm about... my house, I'm like 17 miles from saltwater, pretty much. the lake and the river goes straight to the ocean. If it wasn't for a dam, you could just hop in a boat and go. But there's a dam down there that created Lake Houston. But this is FM 2100. This is where part of the construction was, like when I first started my channel, but they haven't finished the construction where I am. They are up further north. I think they're averaging about a mile a year. You know, I think it's a union job. That's a joke. Some of y'all might get that. I have nothing against unions. That's another thing. I won't cross the picket line. I don't. I will not cross the picket line. Half my family was brought here to work in the coal mines. A large part of my family was basically the same companies that own the coal mines in Pennsylvania own coal mines in Eastern Europe, and they're like, you can read and write, which wasn't that common 100 years ago. You can learn English, and they brought my great-grandfather and his family over here, and well, there was this problem with Nazis and communists and all that shit, and America looked pretty fucking good, so they came over here. And part of my family goes back to Jamestown and Maryland Colony and back into England and Ireland and Scotland and the Book of Wallace, and yeah, my family's in the Book of Wallace. Yes, that Wallace. Maybe that's why I love my freedom so much. I don't know. And then that branch also kind of sprouts off into the von Eisenbergs. Yes, those von Eisenbergs. But doesn't mean shit for me. None of them know who I am, and well, my family came here a long time ago. That branch did. It's like, hey, we're distant relatives. Oh, cool. I'm still covered in industrial waste for most of the day and work my ass off, and probably gonna die from working in one way or the other. I'm either gonna get blown up in one of these factories or something, either killed in a wreck, or all these chemicals are gonna give me cancer and that'll kill me. So one way or the other, you know, I gotta work, I've gotta eat. I make too much money for welfare. I have self-respect, so that's the other thing. So yeah, I'll never reach retirement. I don't think I'm gonna live that long. Rolled the dice too many times. But hey, you know, I've got family members that died from black lung, and all kinds of other stuff. It is what it is. So what are y'all doing? Oh, there's somebody I might meet this evening or Saturday. I'll keep that a secret. I don't know if I'm gonna meet them yet, but they are a much bigger channel. I think it's pretty cool. They got kind of like their own unique thing going on, which is what I like. A lot of the channels that actually last and get big, you know, they have like their thing. Don't hit me, Grandma. But they'll have their own sort of thing going on. Like, we're all moto vlogging, we're all, you know, going to camp outs, but there's something else that makes them stick around. There's something different, you know. And some people just have like a lot of charisma. I've got a little, I ain't got a lot. I'm not like shade tree surgeon level, you know. But then some people are just really, really good storytellers, and you know, then some people are just good at showing you how to do things, or taking pictures, or good views, or what have you. But I think the ones that actually make it and actually have like these really good channels, they've all got something else to them. It's not really something I can describe. It's my cheeks are getting squished, and it's like, yeah, messing with my speech because I'm trying not to bite my cheeks. But they just have that something else, you know, that separates them from everybody else. Let's face it, all of us have a GoPro or a DJI or, you know, a whatever, a Insta360 or something. We mount it to our bikes, we mount it to our helmet and all that. We're filming, we're talking about whatever, we're making shorts and reels and all that stuff, but what separates us, you know? And that's nothing against anybody. I mean, I'm not the only person riding a bike that plays music, or that works on bikes, or that drives a truck, or that there's nothing special, I don't think, about me. Maybe I'm freaking huge. Not my channel, me. But I'm like huge in the sense that this is a 700-pound bike and I can throw it around like it's a toy. That kind of huge. So, yeehaw. We're heading to the big city now. But they all have that. The ones that kind of like everybody ends up gravitating and watching, there's something else to them. Hold on, I gotta scratch my nose. Sorry. I need a 7th gear. I have asked Harley repeatedly for a 7th gear, and they've never responded to me. I don't even think they know I exist. That's all I want. One more gear. 7th. And when I get that, I'm going to want an 8th gear, so get ready for it. You know? I'm not in a huge hurry today. I'm just kind of cruising. You know? And I'm going to go do my thing. So I thought I'd turn the camera on. There's a shooting range down here on the left. And there's all kinds of stuff, if you notice, up in the woods along through here. There's a lady that I would suggest you never rent a bike from. Let me scratch my nose again. There's this thing about hair in a helmet. But anyways. My nose. But no, they camp out, people rent 4-wheelers, and every once in a while, a couple times a year, if somebody goes missing down here, they drown or what have you. I've just heard so many bad things. I would not suggest renting any of their shit. And they also don't let you really ride it, and if you do, and then they charge you out the ass for everything. I just feel real scammy about that business. I'm at 90 in the Sanderson River, so I'm not going to call out the business name. If you know who it is, you know who it is. I have to do an exorcism on a hair in my helmet. 2 problems with hair in my helmet. One is cats, one is me. immigrant and you see people that just ain't gonna move, I like them, I support them. Getting a lot more homeless people, a lot more. It's like the homeless and the meth camps and stuff moving out. And, you know, when they go through and they clean the stuff out in the city, where do they go? Yeah, they go out here. You didn't do anything to solve the homeless problem. You just moved the homeless. I don't know if you can solve that problem though. Some people, like I was homeless, but I was homeless for different reasons. And it's surprising how many obstacles society puts in your way to prevent you from getting up when you get knocked down. And something I think might actually be easier today, but it's like, you know, try getting a job if you don't have an address. Try getting anything if you don't have an address. Try getting any help, you know. Now, if you live in a big city or something like that, and they got homeless shelters and all that, okay, yeah, that's cool. Now do that in small town America. Do that in the middle of freaking nowhere. There's no help. There's churches that will turn you away. You know, it's because you're not their kind of people. They will let you starve. They have no problems doing it either. And a lot of things have changed though, because I'm talking a long time ago. A lot of things aren't as kosher to do today as they were then. There's a lot more help for people than there were. But then there's still people that you're not going to be able to help. You know? You know you're killing yourself. You don't need nobody telling you. And until you're ready, nobody can help you. And there's mental health reasons. There's all kinds of crap. And then there's people that have just given up and people that don't know what to do. Sometimes life just hits you so hard that you just want to sit there for a while. You don't want to feel anything. And then one day you've had enough, you get back up and you figure shit out. But I can actually, I don't know if we're going to go by any of them. I can show you big, huge homeless camps. I mean, they talk about Portland. Like, oh, Portland's this liberal nightmare and what have you. And I've been to Portland. I know what the deal is. I've been one of those people crawling out of a culvert in the morning. You know? Yeah, that was me at one point. I was completely lost, didn't know what to do with my life. We got the same thing here. Oh yeah, Texas is a red state. Well, guess what? We got the same shit they got in Portland right here. You know, the city in front of me called Houston. Everything they got in Portland, except some things there are not legal here. And a lot of that is we got a couple of religious nuts that want to control the state of Texas. That's actually how Ted Cruz got his start too. He was regulating sex toys. I usually call Ted Cruz the dildo king. He wanted to make it illegal for you to have too many vibrating items. So yeah, he's the dildo king. He's just as fake as he ever was. It's not that he's a rhino, he's just a fake person in general. If you've ever met him in person, you'd probably figure that out real quick. But Yeah, huge cities. A lot of the cities that popped up homeless encampments and everything in 08 never really went away. A lot of you truck drivers can see that traveling the country, especially if you were traveling then and you watched them pop up. I think we're getting ready for another one of those events. I could be wrong, but I mean, I'll put it to you this way. Gold hasn't changed in value. Gold holds the same value as it did last year. The dollar's falling, which means it takes more dollars to buy gold. So the price of gold has nothing to do with the value of gold. Oh, the price of gold is rising. Yeah, it's got the same value. Dollar's crashing. It was set up for it to fall for a while. But if you notice, like, people traveling, look how many more homeless people they're picking up. Look how many more encampments. If you look close at their videos, you're seeing, look how many more panhandlers you're seeing in small towns across the country. I wish I would have been on my bike and I had a GoPro that last day they had the No Kings protest. Obviously, I'm not involved in that. I was coming back from Tooele, Louisiana, delivered a load of flasher bottoms, and sound changed for a second. I'm like, what? It's because I'm against that wall. But I'm driving through all these small towns in my truck. The people I'm noticing, it's not the paid protesters or anything like that. It's like this dude that works at the foundry or at the local hardware store, and they're out there in these little podunk gas towns. That's because of the economy. Everybody wants to get caught up on all these culture war issues. I know the media would love to. I know both the left and the right would love you to get caught up on that. You know, they want you to hate this person, hate that person. These people are queers over here, you gotta hate them. And then they tell the queers, this person's racist and they're homophobic and they want to kill you. And this person over here, they're coming after your kids and they want to get you all hating each other. They want the blacks to hate the whites. They want the whites to hate the blacks. They want everybody to look at Hispanic people as something less than human. Everybody's a child of God. And meanwhile, they're picking our pockets. You know? They're just picking our pockets. As long as they can keep you hating that person. And the other part of that is whatever authority you give the government to use against someone else, they can turn around and use that against you. That's not your guy in office going after somebody that you don't like. It has nothing to do with that. That is the federal government of the United States telling its workers to go after whatever person they decide for them to go after. And that can change with less than a stroke of a pen. And that can be directed towards you. They can use the same rationale, the same everything to give them the power to use like ICE, how they're using them now, to go after your Second Amendment rights. And I've got family that comes from not companies. You might as well say, hey, yeah, country, company, where's the line? It's kind of very blurred at the moment, but I've got family that comes from countries where they actually did that. They went door to door. And you gave up the guns, or they killed you, or they killed you anyway. You know? Whatever you allowed them to do to someone else, they can and will do to you. In reality, it's not left versus right. It's not red versus blue. All the states are gerrymandered. Everything's owned by someone else. Nobody gives a shit. Texas has way more Democrats than we have Republicans, and we're a red state. California has more at one time, I don't know if they still do, they had more Republicans than any other state in the union, and they're blue as fuck. You know, it's not left, it's not right, it's not any of that. That's just what divides us. We're all children of God. I don't give a fuck what language you speak. You know, now if you're hauling hazmat in an 18-wheeler going down the road, you really do need to know how to speak English. I don't think that test should be offered in any other language than English, just from a point of public safety, you know. But other than that, I don't give a shit, you know. Government wants us all divided up. They want us all fighting each other. They want to focus on the freaks on both ends. They want to focus on the most racist, homophobic asshole on the right with the MAGA hat and everything else, saying the stupidest fucking shit. Because that's what's going to get them clicks, that's what's going to get them interest. That doesn't represent everybody on that side, far from it. Quite a few, but definitely not everybody. Then they're going to look at the people with the nose rings and the dyed hair, and every time I see someone with a nose ring, I grew up on a farm, I think of a hog. You know, that's what we used to do to keep hogs from like rutting under the fence and shit, you know. So like, I just think like, you know, maybe she was trying to rut under a fence or something. What the hell's wrong? But that's just me. But you know, they're gonna focus on them, and you know, they just want everybody to hate each other. Reality is, no, most of them aren't like that. You could probably, if you sat down and had a conversation, if you, and we all also have our own biases, you know, and our own cognitive dissonance. If you don't think you have your own cognitive dissonance, there's some in that right there. We all have it. We're all susceptible. We're all manipulated, myself included. We look at a phone designed to give... The human brain memorizes things in short segments. We're not good at long format fucking anything. We're good at seeing shit repetitively over and over and not necessarily remembering what the fuck it was, but it stores itself in our brain and it brainwashes us. You know, we're all being brainwashed, all being manipulated. Just take a step back. Take a look at the other side. Watch the media the other side would be watching, and look at your own. Look at foreign media. Take a look at the world around you from a few steps back. Take a look at the bigger picture. Oh yeah, where I'm at right now, if it's ever raining, like tropical storm, flooding, anything like that, you do not want to be here, because this floods. You don't want to be inside of Loop 610 on any of these freeways, but definitely not on I-10. Unless you can swim. Because this right here becomes a river. Anyway, I might go down to the neighborhood later. I don't know. We got people attack. I mean, they hate us so bad here. And us, I mean the queer community. They didn't just take up the rainbow stripes in the gay neighborhood. I mean, it's in the neighborhood that is known for being gay for a reason. A lot of discrimination involved in that, you know. They literally ground it down. They ground all the asphalt down to the concrete and re-poured the entire intersection as if to fucking erase you completely. The message was heard loud and clear. You know? And hi, Sterling Wheel. I don't know if you're out there or not still. I need to get the fuck over. That's that hate. You want everybody hating everyone. Looky there. There's Houston. here's where a lot of tankers lose their shit. And do not fucking run me over, Mr. Semi. I can see you in my mirror. Please do not squash me. There we go. He went around. We're not taking the path, I don't think. I know going to Galveston, I'll probably take that path. So I'll come the same route, kinda. I don't know. I'm going to the Heights. Montrose is just below the Heights. That's the neighborhood. Oh, by the way, they didn't get rid of the Pride parades. Oh, they canceled Pride this year. It's like they went on all across the fucking country. It's just the media wasn't covering it because they're scared of Trump. And I don't give a fuck. Didn't like Biden, didn't like Obama. I don't like authoritarian fucking anything. I'm kind of a libertarian. I am truly America first. Fuck any other country. I mean, I'm sorry. I got family that lives in other countries, but I live here. Know what I mean? Oh, I can feel the pleather seats in that car right there. I had to open my visor. It was getting hot. I got one person watching. I'll run everybody away eventually. Everybody wants to go too far left and right and all that shit with this insane bullshit. It's like, okay, they got homeless problems and people got to use the restrooms. Why not bring back the public restrooms and shit? Yes, I know people did drugs in there. Yes, I know people had sex in there. Yes, I know they did all that, but they're still doing that, and it's better than shitting on the street, you know? I remember when I was little, there's this park that we would go to, and it's not that long since desegregation when you think about it, because I mean the 90s are further away from me now than segregated water fountains were then. And you could see in the park where all they did was they painted over the sign, but you could still see the engraving from the lettering where it said colored. We're more connected to our past than I think we'd like to think. Wasn't that ancient history to anybody born in the 2000s, something of a history book in childhood to some of the rest of us? You know what I mean? Looky there. There's a specific building I would look for. My grandfather built a lot of those buildings. He worked construction. That particular grandfather, his father was pouring concrete on the reservations. He took a native wife No, she wasn't a princess or any of that. She was just a woman that wanted to get the hell out of Oklahoma. And they went down to Dallas and they came down here, and my family poured concrete and worked construction, and there wasn't any place in this town you could go that he couldn't point to a job that he worked on, something that he did. And they keep finding bodies in that bayou over there. So if you see a body floating, point it out. I don't see any. We have that walking trail right there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a walking trail. That's the University of Houston downtown. And that bayou is the one they're talking about, a serial killer in Houston. If you notice over there, there's a little homeless person's home on the other side. They got a tent set up. You'll find a lot of those near the water as you walk along through there. But there's apparently a serial killer in Houston, and they're dumping their bodies in the bayou. So if you wanted to know where that is, that's right there, along that one. We're doing the slow race, slow race. I'm getting tired of the slow race. Y'all can let me know how my audio is too. I'll have to go back later and look at it. E to the haw. When yeehaw hits a certain octave, hate crime in 5, 4, 3, 2. I am a redneck. I can talk about the rest of my rednecks. I don't like this. I'm getting too warm. Thinking of going around. I don't know if I should. Should I? Let me know. I got political for a second and nobody wants to hear me. Okay. We're good, we're good, we're good. I could go up the shoulder. It's all illegal here. Due to one representative, one specific representative in South Texas. I think he masturbates to pictures of dead bikers or something, I don't know. But he specifically, when nobody's asking for it, pushed through legislation specifically making lane splitting and filtering illegal. But he did make riding side by side legal. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Where are we at? One is the loneliest number. There we go. We're famous for our graffiti too. This isn't the Be Someone sign though. I'd have to go the other way. Actually, I'd have to go around on 610 and then down on 45, and I could show you that one. I got 2 people watching again. Welcome, whoever you are. Let me know how my audio is. I got my visor up because it's fucking hot. I'm getting tired of being behind this truck. I have an exit coming up too. Think they'll let me over? Cool. I gotta get over. Big city traffic. Go from small town America to the big city in 30 minutes. And back to the slow race. We have road rage shootings. Houston is like crazy. Most of the time it's very aggressive driving. Everybody trying to get to where they're going. This is like as calm as it gets right here. And they will look you in the eye and shoot you. Because you cut them off in traffic. They will chase you down for something you didn't even realize you did. Look at you in the eyes and shoot you. I mean, at least they give you the courtesy of looking you face to face, you know? At least they do that. So respect there. And yes, I am always armed. There's no point at any time that I'm not armed. I'm not even unarmed in the shower. Well, someone thought they were going to catch me naked and vulnerable in the shower. No. Yes, I'm a gun nut. I confuse the algorithm. And they're building more and more and more and more shit. But I may go meet someone later. I don't know. I may see him Saturday. We'll find out. I may not. I don't know. Depends on my schedule. I'm supposed to be going to Lone Star Rally on Saturday. I may do that. Big city. This is what everyone's scared of when they're learning how to ride. Like, oh my god, getting on the freeway. That's the other thing where we fight, you know, cognitive dissonance. Oh, and fears. You're safer knowing too many people in different sections, that sort of thing. Actually safe. Anywho, my exit's up here. And I shall catch y'all later. Any bodies down there? Huh? There used to be Heights Guitar Shop. I would go there if they were still open. But they're not. Pay attention. But I'll catch you later. Thank you to whomever is watching, whenever you are watching this. If you've watched it this far, my God, you're awesome. I love you all. So adios, vaya con Dios, sayonara, nashla, ciao. This is ya. I'll catch you later.